Hi everybody, surprise, surprise. As promised, I have a day 13 video. So this is the 13 days of holiday scrapping videos for you. And today I am using the November Hip Kit Club kit. And I am experimenting with the color kit this month and some of the exclusives. So the color kit includes this little stencil from Echo Park, I believe. It's a super cute like Nordic print. And some white embossing powder. So I was planning on doing like white on white embossing and then kind of going over it with some mists, but I did not. The Versamark ink through this stencil did not work very well. The stencil has very fine details. The holes in the stencil are very small. So I am doing a page about my kids making some gingerbread houses, and I thought maybe I will bring a little bit of brown into the page. Using some inks and through the stencil instead of trying to emboss. I had experimented with the heat embossing on a different piece of paper that I don't show in this video, and it just didn't turn out great. So I kind of skipped that idea with the stencil. I love to heat emboss, but it just didn't work well with this particular stencil. However, doing this ink and this pattern, I love how this comes out. So it's a really subtle pattern. I'm just doing some blending through the stencil on a couple just random spots on the page, and I'm kind of having it, the design go from the top left down to the bottom right. So it's very hard to see from this distance, but you can just make out the pattern of that kind of like these poinsettia flowers and kind of a lacy pattern. So super pretty. I love it, and it added just the right amount of brown to the background. So that's done, and I'm going to add some other color in. These are also from the color kit this month. This is a green, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. So I'm just blending this in. I have been using this ink by using the packaging technique and putting it on packaging and spraying some water. But I love the way that this ink reacts with water on the paper. So I put the ink on the paper first, and then I just splattered some water on it, and when you and it reacts with the ink in different ways, and just adds a really cool effect. So I like how that looked. So I had to put my two photos on there to see where I needed some more ink, and then I decided to go back in with the peacock feathers as well. And this is another really weird. This Distress Oxide ink just is so cool. It just reacts completely differently than other regular inks. And you can see that, it looks kind of blue over the surface, like areas where the background is white, but then it kind of turns into a green over the yellowish greeny color there. But then when I put water on it and, it starts to dry, it just looks totally different. So I like that. I don't show this, but I also splattered some red Glimmer Mist drops too on there. So I am going to start embellishing my page, and I am trying to use specifically the Hip Kit Club exclusives this month. So I have some of the die cuts out and the washi tape, and I had just finished creating another page with this, so my desk is already full of stuff. Typically I clean up between pages, but I just kind of went from one to the next on this one, so that's why this stuff's already all out. So I cut some labels out. The black and white labels are from a piece of pattern paper in the kit this month. And one of the exclusives are these little leatherette stickers, and I don't have very many left because I've almost used the whole sheet. So I thought I would try to incorporate them on the page. And because the kids are doing gingerbread houses, I thought the little leatherette houses fit in perfectly. And the other like poinsettia flower on the bottom right, that is from the sticker sheet too. So I am going to add a lot of red and white things to this page because it reminds me of candy, and the candy reminds me of the gingerbread houses. And I just had put these labels down on the page. I wasn't sure how I was going to use them, but I kind of liked how they looked, kind of scattered like that. So I'm going to kind of do one cluster around the labels, and then a cluster kind of on top of the photos maybe, and then one to the left, I think. So I was playing around. This is one of the exclusive papers in the kit this month, and there's a lot of white in the corners and on the edges of the page. So I thought maybe adding just something little to the corners, but I'll switch this up in a minute here. I had all these other designs in mind, and so this page wasn't exactly how I was going to tackle these laying out these photos, but you know, it works. It works when it's all said and done. But so I was just experimenting with different things here. So I tried these, you know, bits in the corners. I just kind of hand scalped there a piece of pink paper, but I didn't like the pink too much. I kind of wanted to stick with the red and the white. One of the other pattern papers in the kit, I think, is from Pink Fresh Studio, and it has little houses on it. So I fussy cut out one of the little houses there. And just playing around with things. And I'm going to go cut another house out to put on the right. So I liked how the houses and the little labels are kind of like doodled, and they're just black and white doodles. So I wanted to balance those out around the page. So one on each side of the photos, and then the labels down from the bottom. I was considering adding a tag over there on the left, but then I just decided that I will concentrate my journaling on the labels instead. And I had a little bit of blue in the one house on the left-hand side. The roof was that blue. So I put a blue piece of washi tape, and that washi is exclusive from the kit this month. And there's a little blue button brad on the right with candy canes on it, which fits in perfectly. And this piece of washi tape, I thought, I wonder if I can pull off these little, or cut out these flowers individually, and what they would look like. So the washi tape has so when you put it on the white background, you don't even see the white part of the tape. It's just kind of clear, actually. You only see the design. So the little flowers, they almost look like rub-ons, because, you know, they're just right on the page, and you don't even see the outline of them. So that worked out pretty good. Okay, I'm going to cut a couple more labels, put those on, scatter those here and there. My photos, my daughter's photo on the left is complete, like the frame of the photo is completely full, but my son's had a lot of white space on it, so I put a little sticker on that to fill in the white space. So I decided I wanted to add something more gingerbread-like. And on another recent page I did with gingerbread houses, I used craft cardstock. I think it's a great thing to use for gingerbread because it's the same color and kind of has, you know, looks like it has a texture to it. So I am using this stencil again, and this time I'm using modeling paste. I also did this technique on a previous page as well. And then my camera died because I wasn't paying attention and the battery was low. So I let that dry and I punched circles out of it. But the modeling paste provided such awesome texture on the craft cardstock. So I had cut some circles and I scattered those kind of, again, from the top left down to the bottom right of the page. So I'm sorry that got cut out, but you saw me make put the modeling paste there through the stencil, and I just love how that looked. I was trying to use a big chunk of it on the page, but it was taking away from the design and the background I had already made. So, the circles it is, and that brings in, again, my little bit of brown. So I started gluing things down. I think I glued my photos down. I glued the houses down, adding a little bit of extra glue to everything. And my circles are scattered there. I removed the top circle I'm playing with right there. I have a red star on it. I removed the red star because it just takes away from the rest of the red in the photo. And then I'm going to have all the black and white labels on the right side of the page. So not a ton of embellishments on this page, but again, I want to kind of keep it simple but fun, and add little, bits of interest here and there with some texture and some pop dots. I had all of these little flowers left, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to use them all. And I do. I cut every single one out and I scatter them around, kind of, again, going on that diagonal from the top left to the bottom right. Okay, last little bit here. As I had said earlier, I wanted something around the edge of the page. I didn't want to frame the whole page. You can see I had taken some stickers there and put the word sweet on. So those stickers, alpha stickers, were exclusives from Hit Kit Club. When I took them out of the packaging is this red and white paper. So that is the packaging from the alphas I used. And red and white stripes. Perfect match for my candy canes and everything else on all the other little candy bits on this page. So yeah, I had to use that. And I think that that grounds the photos and the whole page really well there at the bottom. I did some stitching with some gold thread over that red and white strip and right underneath the photo. And there you can see the texture of those circles and all the little fun exclusive bits. So yeah, a lot of that stuff exclusive to the November Hip Cut Club kit. So that is finally it for my 13 days of holiday scrapping. Again, thank you so much to everybody who leaves comments and likes, and I really appreciate it. You make me really enjoy what I do, and I thank you so much. Okay, stay tuned. I'll have more videos coming up next week. Happy holidays, and stay scrappy.